Alright, ladies and gents, welcome to this video. My name is Taylor Benchard, and today's video idea comes from Luke, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, but he said, hey, how do you manage your daily mindset / growth inputs? What's your routine look like in this sense? So mindset, in my opinion, results. So if we were to put this on the whiteboard, it'd be very simple. You have mindset, then you have behavior, and then you have results. If you just try to change your behavior, which is, let's just say, like your routine, where you work, the amount of times you go to the gym, it's nothing to do with your paradigm. It's all to do with kind of like the physical actions that you might do. But mindset kind of goes deeper into the root, which is what actually kind of dictates why you want to go to the gym, why you want to actually build an agency that does X amount of revenue per month or X amount of profit. It gets to the core of why you actually do everything that you do. So mindset's a very important thing, and there's many different ways you can approach mindset. So in this video, I wanted to break down a super simplistic view at how I approach mindset and how it's changed over the years, and I think it's always going to change. And then also we're going to cover the principles of mindset that I think that you can walk away from this video with, so you can build your own ideal daily routine, if you want to call that. So what we have here is daily mindset. And then we're going to go into the actual principles of getting your own mindset done. So for me, what I've done from 19 to 21 is different from 22, which is different from 23. This is my age. Right now I'm 23. So when I was 19 to 21 years old, again, the person who helped me start my agency was Sam Ovens. Although I had other mentors, his course was the one that helped me primarily. And in his program, the Consulting Accelerator, he has this thing, I forget what it's called, but it's this intense mindset process, and there's like 10, 20 pages where you read affirmations, you build a vision board, you do this thing morning and night, you read it multiple times throughout the day, you meditate on it, you envision what you want to create in your reality, and it's very goals oriented, and you're doing your best to kind of close your eyes or read what is being said, whether it's an affirmation or it's a goal that you want to achieve, or it's simply just a new belief that you want to, which would technically be an affirmation, but primarily just goals and beliefs, or it could be a picture on the vision board, etc. You're just trying to kind of imagine that you've already got these things that you want to get to. Now, this was great for me at 1921 because I was very young, I was very egotistical, I wasn't that mature, I didn't really have any vision or mission for the company. The only thing that was motivating me was primarily materialistic gain, status, which is tied to materialistic gain, independence, the ability to move out of my parents' house and actually, live on my own and be independent and quote unquote become a man. And so those were the things that were motivating me. So from 19 to 21, that was the primary source of motivation. But things changed as time goes on. I can't tell you why things changed. You just start to read more books. You start to mature. You start to stop being that egotistical, immature 19-year-old that cares about status and materialistic gain, and then you move towards something a little bit more mature. 22 years old, and by the way, I'm not saying it's better or worse. Again, I would have never had the mindset that I have now at 19 years old. I was not interested in that. So at 19, that served me very well, was to read these affirmations, have a vision board, have very goal-oriented, type of mindset where I read goals every single day. And by the way, we'll get into more specifics of each of these shortly. 22 years old, it was primarily just meditating, and as I'm meditating, envisioning what I wanted to create. So that could be an agency that has 20, 30 people that work in it. That could be a program like Agency Enlighten that helps thousands of agency owners. That could be a mastermind. Those are really the three things that I would meditate on pretty deeply if I was ever actually meditating and I was trying to create something. Sometimes I would just meditate and I wouldn't try to envision some future reality, but that's kind of what was done at 22. This would take 1 to 2 hours. Prior to that, 1921, it would take an hour to an hour and a half. If I really wanted to rush through it, I get it done in 30, 45 minutes. But the length of this really depends on how long you meditate. I like to meditate for sometimes 45 minutes to an hour. Now it's a little bit shorter. At 23 years old, now what I do is I just have this simple one-pager. It is a very simple thing, and it's not at all tied to business. It's purely tied to kind of personal development. And it's really just, I'll read it out loud. It says, I choose to be easygoing, benign, forgiving, compassionate, and unconditionally loving towards all of life and all its expressions, without exception, including myself. I choose to focus on unselfish service and the giving of love, consideration, and respect to all creatures. I choose to avoid negativity and the desire for worldliness and its greed for pleasure and possessions. I choose to forego opinionating and the judgment of right versus wrong, the vanity of being right and the trap of righteousness. I seek to understand rather than to condemn, and I ask for your support in helping me never deviate these choices. So that's just one of the paragraphs. That's quote unquote like a daily prayer. I don't know. You don't have to be religious. You don't have to be spiritual, but it's just a good thing to read because all of what was said in that paragraph is more or less unconditional love. And that's kind of the mindset that I read every single day now. So this is more like personal mindset. It does have some behavior goals on there. One of the things is it says, live out the choices of the daily prayer. Wake up between 7:30 to 8 a.m. and be in bed before 11 to 11:30 p.m. every day. Read ACIM and meditate every day. Work out 4 times per week and refuse the temptations of the ego. Bypass the seduction of allure, bracket, astral circus, bracket. Some of this is personal and you probably won't understand it. I'm not going to try to explain it all. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so very simple one pager. It's laminated. I got 2 of these things. One's in the bedroom, one's in the office. I read it every morning. I usually read it every night before I go to sleep, and that's great. I love that. That's personal. Now, business is pretty simple. This is kind of what is actually the motivation or mindset for business now at 23. So I just read the vision, the mission, and the core values for the company. And that's really it. Aside from that, it's the one pager, it's reading this, and it's meditating. So reading this in the one pager takes like literally 3 minutes, which is why I really like it. And now this is really motivating to me. 3 years ago, it wouldn't have been, but things change. So you need to realize that it's fluid. Mindset is fluid. It's always going to be changing, and you're never going to be just doing this one single process for the next 10 years. You're going to eventually get bored of that process. That process is no longer going to serve you. You're not going to identify with it, and you're going to feel like it just doesn't give you the same amount of motivation or desire to do whatever it is that you want to do as it did before. So when that happens, you need to change it. But this is the principles that I want to give with you. So when you're starting out, especially if you're very young, and I consider very young to be teenage years, maybe 20, 21 years old, there's no one best way for daily mindset or for approaching mindset. There's so many different ways. And whatever resonates with you the most, that makes you feel the best, that tends to, create better behaviors for you, which creates better results, is what you should do more of and go towards. So do what feels best for you and test different routines, because if you don't test different things, you won't really know what feels best for you. You need to kind of split test and test different things, okay? So you can try building a vision board. That's pretty basic. You can try writing out some affirmations in areas of your business or your life that you feel that you would need them. You can try reading specific books on areas that you would like to improve upon. You could also try building out goals, basically, for the year. Behavior goals or other types of goals that are not within your control. So there's kind of 2 types of goals. Behavior goals are pretty simple. You can control this. Like a behavior goal here is wake up between 7:30 to 8 a.m. and go to bed before 11 to 11:30 p.m. I can control that, okay? Work out 4 times per week. I can control that. Refuse the temptations of the ego. I can control that. These are all behavior goals. Behavior goals that you can control, all right? Other goals, which I don't know what you want to call these ones, but just what most people, when most people set goals, it's usually like get to 100K a month. I had that as a goal for a long time. And that is a goal that you cannot control. That thing is outside of your circle of influence, okay? So there's a video I made previously on the channel. It was called Lead Measures versus Lag Measures. And lag measures are essentially the goal. Like, I want to get to 100K per month. That's a lag, okay? And a lead is like activities that you can actually do and control that you think will get you to the lag, such as, contact 20 unique companies with Trojan Horse marketing videos every single day. That's an example of a lead that will hopefully get you to your leg. So what I wish I would have done 19, 20, 21 is understand the difference between leads and lags. If you don't, Google it or go watch the previous video on the channel. That'll be fantastic. And don't just set lag measure goals. You need to have leads and lags that tie together. And that's kind of, OKRs is similar to this. I've also spoken about OKRs in a previous video on the channel. You can go check it out. It's OKR, stands for Objectives and Key Results. But really, when it comes down to your daily mindset, it's very simple. Just test out different things. I recommend trying to, write out a routine that you want to do and do it for like 2-3 weeks. See how you feel. And then if you want to try something else because you don't really feel that great doing that, try something else. Make it radically different, in my opinion. You want to test routines that are completely different. It's kind of like the David Ogilvy principle of split testing. When you want to split test a headline, don't just change one word. Don't just change, a letter or add an exclamation mark. Make it a radical shift. Yes, changing one word can make a difference and a drastic difference sometimes, but generally speaking, it's anomalies, although you can find them. So radically change up the routine, test it out for 2-3 weeks, see how it is. Really that simple. So hopefully this was valuable to you, Luke. I hope this is a good video for the rest of you guys as well. If you have other video ideas, put them in the comment section below. There's only one thing I ask of you. You already know what it is. I say this at the end of every single video. Please hit the subscribe button. It is the only thing I'm asking of you to do, and I will continue to make great videos. Hopefully you consider them great. And going into 2021, I'm really excited to be with you guys. The channel is growing, which is amazing. And also hit the like button. That will help boost the algorithm. Much love, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Ciao.